Welcome to the DreamLeague Overtime Show live on Caffeine. Now we have a lot in store for you in the next coming, let's say 20 to 30 minutes. I hope you're ready for this because we are going to start off with a deep dive. That's right, we're gonna start off with a deep dive into today. We are gonna dive into all the games, talk about the teams, their performance. We're talking about the brackets. We're talking about Alliance. We're gonna have guests as well. We're talking about Team Liquid. Yes, we're also gonna have guests for them as well. And we're gonna basically have a whole show. Hope you're ready. And of course, I won't be by myself. I'm actually having some company here too. We got Fogged. We got ODPixel. Mentioned you first again.
You did mention me first. I was gonna mention it too.
Yes?
Thank you.
How are you like being mentioned first?
It's different. Definitely very different. I'm used to just being the, the shadow.
Yeah. Well, it also means that you have to answer all the questions first.
Have to?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you just did already. Could you get used to that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
All right, let's talk about today. Let's talk about what has been happening in the world of the course of DreamLeague Season 12, because it has been a day filled with games.
Yeah, I think the start of the day maybe was a little bit of a different thing than we had expected. We probably expected Liquid, or Old Alliance, to come out a little bit more ahead in the games, but they looked like they diverted. They changed a bit from their, at least from what I'd seen recently from them. They did some different strategies, it looked like, and it didn't really work out. They kind of got crushed in their series.
What do you think, Owen? Are you going to make me want to ask you all the questions now?
No. It's just, letting Fogg say his piece.
He did?
What, in terms of what? The overall, what of today? Just how things have gone? Or?
Everything. What stood out?
I think, as I was saying earlier, it's sort of just good to see the teams that did show good stuff in the qualifiers, playing from their homes or from the boot camps, were able to turn up and look as strong as they did on LAN. You know, your Liquids, Alliances, NIPs, you would have sort of pitted them as sort of being the top three teams coming into this.
Yep.
They turn up on LAN and they show us that when they're sat right next to each other in front of a crowd, they can still pull out the results.
Mm-hmm. And for people that have not seen the update, it was indeed Ninjas in Pajamas that also won Game 2 against Demon Slayers, which is something that we were already expecting, but all the groups are done.
So we got 2-0s across the board, did we?
Every series was a 2-0. Now, there was a 70-minute game in there as well.
Yeah.
And some of the games were very close, but yeah. 2-0s across the board. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, J-Storm and Team Liquid went 1-1 though, right? It looks like.
No, you're reading the board wrong, you
J-Storm and Team Liquid is
that means they won a series.
That means they won a series and they lost a series. So wow, that's actually crazy.
Not a single back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, we sometimes do have days like that, but I did not actually expect it to be like that when it's these teams coming, like you were mentioning, like a lot of teams that haven't played on the LAN recently, a lot of teams just playing from online, coming here and then just getting 2-0 like that.
I mean, I could see it. We've had sort of this, as you said, we're on 7.22H. It's been on 7.22 for a long time. So all of these players are very well accustomed to sort of what's good and what's bad. And I think that's why when a patch has sort of been around for that long time, you're more likely to see series that are one-sided because it is sort of a straight up, we're a better team than you on this patch, we're going to win the series. It's not going to be sort of that back and forth as there may be at the start of the patch where there's a lot of experimentation going on. Sure, there's still, it's Dota 2, it's always adapting and evolving, but at this point, I think 2-0s are going to be very common because of that. Because of the facts.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, tomorrow we have a lot of games. We've got 4 best-of-3 series tomorrow. We're going to start off with the lower bracket, and then we have the upper bracket finals at the end of the day. After we also had the lower bracket round number 2. Yeah, round 2. What are we thinking there? Are we going to have more 2-0s? Is that kind of like the story?
Well, I think that maybe in that upper bracket, I think that's probably the... I'd say actually any series that Fly to Moon was playing. Who are they playing tomorrow? I can't remember. Whoever they're playing, that series for me would be the most likely to go.
They're playing 50-50. Liquid.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
They're playing the Liquid. Yeah, exactly. So for me, that series, Fly to Moon is at least taking a game. They could win that series. Liquid's been a bit shaky. I think they're going to have good talking twos tonight. Blitz is going to get them in shape for tomorrow. Make sure that they don't drop any more games. But I think against Fly to Moon, Fly to Moon could upset them.
Now, one of the things going into this tournament has been, you got on one side of Europe where you got Liquid and Secret, old Liquid, Secret, NOG all not playing, right? So there should be a whole way open for a new line of teams, and obviously right now we're seeing Ninjas in Pajamas, current Liquid, and Alliance being the winners of Europe right now, right?
Yep.
On the other side, you've got America, where 3 teams made it to Major, and that's the top 3. Like, we know the top 3 of America right now, J-Storm being 3rd in that. We saw Alliance crush J-Storm.
Yeah.
Does that, is that scary in terms of, because what could they do? Like, if those other teams come back to Europe right now, where would this Alliance be at?
The thing that I always like to say, at least when we start separating like EU and NA, I feel like Europe, just even if these top teams aren't playing, and maybe, NA, they have been playing versus some Europe teams, I feel like Europe just has way better practice, always.
Better practice?
Yeah, they're always going to have better practice, better teams to play against, better pubs, better situation, better atmosphere. NA, you're playing against the NA players, the NA scrims that are just, I think, behind. You look at the scrims and you look at the heroes they're picking, and then you look at the ones that Europe is picking, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
I feel some NA flame in there. You're NA.
The truth. It's the truth.
It's just the global position of Europe. It's in the middle of, CIS and even NA, right? They can play some NA games, and NA can play a little bit against Europe, but you're playing with obviously the not ideal ping issue. It's not terrible, right? Like, you can still gather some good experiences if you're on the East Coast playing against European sides.
It's just painful as a core player, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're
for
trying
the cause,
to play, you're losing. You're not getting the experience that you want to get, because you're like, if I wasn't a 0.1 second delay, then this wouldn't have happened. And then it's a bad mentality.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal. There's every reason why you want to play in Europe. If you want to really push yourself to the max.
You're playing in Europe.
Unless obviously for teams in NA, like the very sort of top, like, your EGs, pretty much your EGs, then I think, it doesn't really matter for them, because they're going to be at pretty much every international LAN. They have sort of enough LAN experience in playing that the fact that they don't have ideal scrim conditions doesn't really sort of phase them too much.
You know who could say a lot about it as well? You can talk more about this topic with our upcoming guests, because we have right here, Hanskin. When I say right here, I'm not pretty sure which word it's going to come from.
There we go.
Where is it?
Wait, there.
Oh,
yes. Hello.
Welcome to the show, Hanskin.
You got a microphone.
Oh, man, how's it going?
You got an earpiece so you can hear me too. I love it.
Hi.
Great to have you. We are very curious. First of all, we were talking about, did you hear us talking about the pubs, NA versus Europe?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. I heard,
yeah. Do you agree with what Fogg is saying? Is like the practice in Europe that much better compared to NA?
Yeah, I mean, as a player that's played both Europe and NA region, I think it's safe to say Europe has a lot better practice. Like, there's just more players that are playing. Like, we have the CIS region, there's always scrims to find, whereas in NA, things might not have been as serious at times, and, a lot of canceling, scheduling issues and stuff like that, but it's also just way less teams to pick from. So.
Yeah, and you start it's like you get stagnant. You play versus the same team over and over, and you're like, are we actually learning anything, or are we just teaching them? Whenever I feel like I would talk to these guys, that's like I feel like I'd get the similar feedback. I'm like, oh, all right.
That's a tough one. Could you hold the microphone a little bit closer to your mouth, especially when answering my following question, because we are very curious how Fata is as a captain.
I mean, I think he's doing a really good job, honestly. Like, he takes all the responsibility, he makes sure everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing, and does the prep and basically anything you could ask for, really. It makes sense, right? He's played with, the big names that you would know. He played with Peter, Kuro, and Puppy, I believe.
Yep.
Correct.
So, a lot of experience there, and I think he's just a natural, person for the role.
That's cool.
Is he talkative? Is he, because we talked about this where you have all those 3 captains you mentioned, and all those 3 captain very differently from each other.
Yeah.
Like, what did he take from each of them, you think?
I mean, it's hard to say. Like, for me, I've barely ever pub with him, so it's hard for me to say, but I think, he's doing a good job, staying calm, taking responsibility, all the good stuff. It's hard to say more.
That's nice. It lets you just play your own game, right? And I saw, I was really happy to see you the last game also, and I'm happy to see, not flaming you or anything, but seeing you playing your really strong heroes, you're real big and stuff, instead of I saw a lot of the Disruptor, the NIP era and stuff like that. Seeing you playing these like 4 positions, and I guess now you're saying Fada's taking a lot of the blame. Do you feel pretty free in your games to do your own thing?
Yeah, I feel free for sure. Like I feel like I'm being trusted and stuff, but also he can be firm when he has to. Things are not going the right way, but we're doing pretty well, so it hasn't been too necessary yesterday.
I mean, you guys are doing very well, and I want to sort of know, like, how did it all come together? Like, obviously, like, was it Loda ringing around, being like, we need a team, you guys want to get together, or had you already sort of got together as a group pretty soon after TI and said, we're going to do something this season?
It was a little bit of a puzzle. Like, I was pretty set to play with Limp initially in the shuffle, and then Fada and 3-3 wanted to play it together. And then, we had a couple of options, but when I got the chance to go with Fada and 3-3, like, I thought that was easily the best one for me. And then they had thought of Nico, and also we were in talks with Alliance. Loda really vouched for Nico, and things just worked out really well.
Yeah, I mean, Nico's been looking great. Had he always been sort of a player that's been on your radar? As like, this guy's, he's got a lot of potential as a carry. He's just not sort of found the best sort of team to accelerate him.
I mean, for me, not really. Like, I've known his name for a couple of years now from European pubs, but like I haven't really paid too much attention. Like, I know that he tried out for a couple of good teams, but he didn't really make it, and then he went to SEA for a season, and a lot of the European players that go to SEA, they get forgotten kind of, because it's like, it's hard to say, but it's like an easy way to get a salary and stuff.
No, exactly. Like, you've gone there because opportunities aren't working out in you.
Yeah, exactly. But then he did really well at TI, and you watch those games obviously, and then you see like, oh, holy crap, this guy is like, he's nuts,
Yeah, I mean, he's at TI in some of the interviews, he seemed like really driven. Like, this guy, he wants to win. Is he sort of like that as a teammate? Is he very good at sort of keeping morale up and?
I mean, a little bit of both. Like, he's very passionate for sure. Like, he has a lot of like strong opinions, and he wants to voice them, and he wants the team to like do what he thinks is right when he's leading. And I think that's a really good trait as a carry. Like, you need to be able to like take the steering wheel for a bit when come late game in the games, and like when you're supposed to take over. So.
Yep. And you guys at the moment don't have a coach, right?
No, not currently, no.
Is that like a conscious decision? Because, I mean, Fada is obviously fairly new in his role, and you are a new squad, so it's like figuring out yourself first before getting a 6th person in?
Yeah, we were discussing it briefly, and we had talks with a few coaches, but we decided basically that we want to do it with ourselves for the first major, at least. And then, because, as you said, like, Fada needs to see how the group is and how his captain role is going to be and stuff like that, so we're just going to see how it goes, and maybe we'll look into it more after the major.
It's working out real well, and it's good to hear that you guys, found each other at the right time. But you already were planning, so you kind of were already planning to being a team before Alliance needed a team.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then, for a lot of people at home, they're like, "Oh, this is a team that just Alliance like, oh my God, we need players." But no, it's not like that. No. You were already set on doing well. But you guys have been doing so well. Yeah. I am curious. Some of you guys are known for being one of the more quiet people. Who talk, like you just said, Nico Baby is like keeping morale high and has strong opinions. Who's talking in your games? Like, who's the one to take the lead?
Yeah, I think that's mostly down to Nico and Fada. Like, I think both, or me, Limp, and 3-3 were more like, how do you say it? Just cooler in the game, likes to keep emotions low and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the other are, I guess you could say, a bit more high-tempered, but not in a bad way. I mean that. I just mean that, like, wants to show more, wants to like really emphasize things in the game and stuff like that. So it works out well. It's a good balance, I think.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play in the upper bracket finals tomorrow.
Oh, thank you.
And we are going to let you go.
All right.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we are not having Thomas play out because he's not here, but we are gonna play you out ourselves by just clapping. Because we can.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Have a great night. All right. Now, we are going to have other guests as well coming in. But I do want to I think that is really important information for us to know that Alliance, or this current team, was already planning on being a team before Alliance needed a team.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It makes sense because they're doing as well as they did. I feel like if it really was Loda being like, you're looking down his carries, be like, oh, okay, do you want to come and play for the team? Or looking down the supports, do you want to come and play? And just sort of bashing people together. No, it makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
You can see that, this isn't a team that's just been thrown together and, they've slapped the Alliance tag on top of it. This is a team that's very happy to work together, and they're coming out with results.
I like hearing how he was talking about how, Fada's the driving force, Fada's the one who does anything, but Nico, even though he's I don't want to say young to the scene, like new to the scene, but he is kind of in comparison
to
some of those. Yeah, fresh blood in a way.
Yeah, but playing at this level as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's really important that he's actually able to, have a voice. Like you have to as a core player, you have to as a carry. When you hit your peak timings and stuff like, you have to be able to communicate. And sometimes I feel like for teams it can be a little tough when you're with these big names. You might not want to be like saying something because you might like look dumb or something. Hearing that, I think that's really important for a team in their growth.
No, and especially because those sort of opinions can be so valuable in the game. Because if you are sort of younger and that fresher blood, like there is going to be a contrast. Sure, you talk about all the great stuff that the older generation of Dota 2 can bring into competitive play, but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of things that older players don't entirely adapt to. They're going to have these old ways, these old sort of ideas of the game, which might not be terrible, but they're probably not always going to be the best because the game changes so much. And as much as the game changes, as a pro player, I can imagine you're still going to sometimes go back or reference a time for a reason why you picked a hero that isn't really relevant nowadays. But you have a fresher face, fresher blood, they're not going to sort of have that attachment to the old days of Dota 2.
For sure.
And they're going to have sort of a cleaner slate of a mind to work.
Talking about fresh blood, we are about to welcome in two guests, of which one is semi-fresh blood. I'm going to call him fresh blood, at least for the squad. Let's welcome in Insania and Blitz.
Ooh.
Now, of course, both Team Liquid.
Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Insania. Welcome to the show, Mr.
Welcome to the show.
Hello there. Why, hello, William.
Do you want to shake my hand? Oh, hi.
Are you going to ghost me right now?
Hi. Just sit down. We have one microphone. You guys will have to share.
You got to get nice and cozy.
Yeah, you got to be pretty close to it.
Yeah.
So you guys.
Yes. It's
Hello.
Yes. That's the way. All right. So we want to talk about. First of all, we want to talk about fresh blood. Will, you're back as a coach, which for you, joining Team Liquid, you're there fresh blood.
Yes.
Yes.
What is the question here?
No, I just want to talk about that because you're back to coaching. Did you how was the decision? How do you feel like you've been doing it now for how long? Like, are you back into it? How long do you? Yeah. How is it going?
Oh, you want to know what happened? How it started?
No, yeah, just that, and just how you're doing in it.
Oh, I mean, I don't know how I'm doing in it. Obviously bad because we got 2-0 today, but
Hey, you won a series as well.
did we though? No, but like we were at boot camp and I just went for fun. Like I was just there to like have a vacation in Malta, and so like half the time for the first 2 days I was just vacationing. I was out, like, I was exploring the city, I was gambling, I was like just having a good time. And then Insania was like, hey, do you mind like watching a few games? Because they were doing pretty bad at the time, right? Yeah. and then we did it, and then he asked me if I'd do it, and I said no.
Okay.
And then he asked me the next day, and then I was like, well, maybe. And he was pretty persistent. And then by like the third ask, him and Max kind of wore me down, and I was like, all right, I'll do it.
Was that the tweet that you sent the first time he asked?
Yeah, so actually when he asked me, I was like, I don't want to do it, but I'll help you look for somebody.
Yeah.
So that was like an honest thing. I had no interest in doing it. I was like, but I'll try to look. And then I floated some offers, and he was like, no, we'd like you to do it. Was that the same thing that did that happen in your recollection too?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
What made Blitz the best person for the job?
I think we all actually respect him quite a lot, surprisingly. He's he has pretty decent Dota opinions, but I think more than that, he's actually a very good people person, and he gets along really well with our team. So it's an easy guy to listen to when he talks, and you never want to make him sad. You always want to keep him complacent. So yeah, no, he's just a good person for our team, I think.
Yeah, and you obviously coached before, previous Team Liquid as well. How does it feel being back to the coaching?
Yeah, how would you rate this Liquid against that?
No.
We need some direct.
That is not the question that I was going for. I mean, you've coached before, and I would imagine that because you weren't planning on it, you can't just start coaching, or can you? Like, do you feel like you're back in the same form as a coach that you previously were, or are you better, or?
I mean, this team is really different than the old one. Like, the old one was really stressful in a different way.
Okay.
Because, like, I don't know. Even when we won, we were kind of sad. It was like, I remember like my favorite moment was like we won Epicenter, and then immediately after, I had just I'd gone outside. I was like really excited to like celebrate, and I just see Kuro just like, he's just looking at all of them. And you're like, we're shit. And I was like, what do you mean we won? Like, but like I mean, this team's pretty chill. So it's like, it's a lot easier to just like come in. Obviously, we're not as good as like the other,
It's okay to say that. You know,
Yeah,
they are TI winners.
But it's like a bit more calm. But I think there's still a lot of pressure because like, you know, there's a legacy that you got to fulfill and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, because I did have a question for Zeni about that legacy. Because do you feel like extra pressure playing under the Liquid tag?
I think not really. We played under Alliance, and it was like a little bit of a similar situation.
Yeah, the TI winners as well.
Yeah, there was also like
So
the
they've had
TI winning
experience.
team that everyone loved, so not necessarily too much, but
So when's Navi happen? Sorry.
maybe next. Yeah. No, but I mean, we always looked up to the old Liquid squad a lot, so I think we want to like honor their memory, and we don't want to like pull the name down into the ground or whatever. So I think we do maybe feel a little bit of added pressure, just by, you know, because we like the team specifically so much. Yeah.
So you're saying like you guys brought in Blitz like not entirely as a like coach for like game opinions and stuff like that, a lot of for like the people things, but how much do you think like he'll be actually contributing for you guys for like draft and stuff like that? I mean, I'm not saying, like I'm just like serious, like because you've been doing with your same team for like 2 years, so how much do you think like pretty much how much do you want him to kind of like influence you guys, I guess, into your drafting and everything in your game?
I think right now I'm open for him to influence as much as he wants. It's kind of like new, so we don't really know like where the balance is. And like I said, surprisingly, his Dota opinions were not bad, even though he's a caster. Like I was amazed.
Whoa, what do you mean even though he's a caster? We're highly intelligent beings in the Dota 2 scene.
No, his Dota opinions are not bad. They're pretty valid, actually. And I think he has a good idea of how to talk to us and stuff, so it comes across in a good way always.
Okay.
I have one final question. And because I want to know about you guys' performance, and you say before that, in boot camp, before you asked Will to join you, it wasn't going too well. Now he's joined you, and today, Will said you're not happy with the results today. Obviously, you did make it to the major, so you got that to already, work towards, and you got, I think, Hamburg next week as well, right? So, you've got your path ahead of you. Like, how do you feel like you're gonna go? How is it going for you, and how is it going to go for you?
I think when we started off after TI, we were very rusty, like very rusty. I think most people hadn't even opened Dota for like a month.
Okay.
And I was in the middle of like moving and sorting out all the stuff between us and Liquid and stuff like that. So there was a lot of stuff going on. None of us really had thought about Dota or played Dota. So when we started playing, it was real rough. We were losing to like people I'd never even heard the names of, let alone like the team names or whatever. We were losing to everything we played. So it was a rough start. And then like about a week into it, we went to the boot camp in Malta. And it started picking up very slowly. We started like at least taking some games here and there, and people got back into grinding again. So performance levels went up, but I still think we're still pretty out of shape. We don't really fully understand the meta as well as we would like to. And I think probably, hopefully, today's wake-up call against NIP had a big impact on us, because it kind of felt bad to lose like your opening game, first game in the morning. We felt quite confident going into it, so it kind of felt like we got knocked out of the tournament, honestly, in the morning. So it was a really good wake-up call to have.
It's a good thing that there's lower bracket.
For sure.
God bless.
Well, I'm gonna look forward to seeing you guys play tomorrow, and see maybe new ideas or what you guys come up with together. And thank you for joining us on the panel to talk about coaching and your team.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
And we are gonna move on to our next point, but thank you, and see you later.
Thank you, lads.
Thank you, lads.
Bye, thank you.
Let's go. Thank you, Will. Hey, Will.
Are you
Sure.
shaking hands?
Shaking
We're gonna
hands
go
on the way
again.
out.
Bye, Will.
Thank you.
My hands are cold. Your hands are warm.
Thank you, Aiden. Have a good night.
Oh,
Good
you're
luck
so
tomorrow.
proper. He stands up for the handshake. I did it sitting down. I'm so rude.
You gotta
did it
stand
sitting
up.
down too.
It's rude if
so
you sit
rude.
down.
I mean,
Rude.
I can. I'm at a desk.
I can, I guess. It's
All right, there's one more thing that I didn't mention in saying what there was going to be today.
What?
It's a quiz.
What?
Yeah, they already told
It's a
us.
quiz.
It's a Dota
All right,
quiz, right?
You guys are going to need to look at that monitor
Oh, God.
in front of you.
Oh, I'm gonna move.
It is quiz time. I am not
Oy, oy.
participating because I have the answers, and on top of that, it is a fairly Dutch quiz as
Oh,
well.
God.
So, there are more bicycles than people in the
The
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
On average, how much does a Dutch person cycle per day?
I thought this was going to be a true false from the start of
These are
it.
easy.
How much
I mean,
average?
wait, who's going to answer first? Is that a good thing? I mean, not.
I mean, how much average? I mean, do we have to answer first or anything?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I'm going to go for like C.
I'm going for C as well.
Yeah.
4 kilometers.
You both think that we are cycling 4 kilometers on average?
Isn't that much. Honestly, if it's less, then you're all lazy.
I mean, I'm going for 4 just because I think you guys bike a lot. Even though I think it's excessive, I'm going to go 4.
4 isn't that excessive.
4 is excessive. 4 is
That's
too much.
Biking, oh, actually, it's per day. Oh.
No, but okay, it is not C because I wrote it down wrong, but it is 2.5.
Ah, you're all lazy. Honestly, you got to go up to your 4K.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
2.5
That's not bad.
kilometers per day on average.
Could be better. Could
What
be
about
4.
the baby? Is this like averaging with babies and everything included
What?
too? Like, babies can't bike.
Population.
So it's just popular.
Wait, hang on.
know
There's
what I
people
mean?
that can't bike.
What about the people that cannot bike?
Sorry, if you're
Fake
Dutch, you can
question.
bike.
If you're Dutch, you can.
That's how that works. Next question.
You're born on a bike. You cycle out as a baby.
Okay. When a kid passes an exam in the Netherlands, parents will hang something outside of their home, the Dutch flag, and is that A, a
Oh, I know
school
the
bag,
answer.
B, a pair of
Oh, I know the
sneakers,
answer. What
C,
you-
a
what's
How do you
student
know the
hat?
answer?
I've seen someone do this.
I'm gonna do a pair of sneakers. I'm going B.
I'm down with it. I think it's a pair of sneakers. Yeah, I think that's what I've seen. I'm a pair of sneakers B.
It is not a pair of sneakers. It is a school bag.
Somebody had their sneakers hanging out the window. I don't know what they were celebrating. Must be some other Dutch tradition.
I mean, there's some other traditions with hanging sneakers out, but I don't think that that's what you think about.
Okay.
So it's a school bag because, you know, you're done with school.
All right, well, that
So
makes
far,
more sense. I thought it was
0 and
gonna
2
not make
for
sense.
both.
I thought it was
0
gonna be
and
more
2.
a trick question.
Fantastic.
All right.
Yeah.
Third question. There's 5, by the way, in total, so you still got some chances. Third question. The Netherlands is a very flat country. So the highest point is located in Vaalserberg. Is considered a mountain. That's our only one. How high is it?
I'm going for B, 323 meters.
How big is it? 323 meters. That's not that tall. I feel there's got to be a little more than that. I'm going to go with A.
No, it is B.
It's B.
Yeah,
We are such a flat country, you have no idea.
Those other ones are big.
It's just a very short country. So a small country, that too, but also very flat. So 1 point for Vogue, congratulations. Fourth question. The Dutch are the largest consumers in the world of one very special snack. Which snack is that? Is that A, dried herring? Is that B, licorice? Or is that C, beef jerky?
Am I going first again?
Sure.
I'm gonna go with licorice, B.
It's definitely either licorice or dried herring. And I think I don't want to get too down to him. So I feel like I'm going to go with... I mean, they do like their herring, they like the fish. I'm sort of seeing the older Dutch people going for their herring, but they go for the licorice as well. I go licorice, yeah.
It is indeed licorice. Also, we don't eat dried herring, we just eat the raw herring.
I was thinking that. I was like, dried is very specific.
Yeah. No, it's licorice. This is not one of the better ones, but licorice is delicious, not gonna lie.
I don't like licorice personally.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
Put salt on the licorice as well.
Salt and
That's what the
licorice is the best.
Europeans are all about.
You could put salt on it.
They drench licorice in
Dude,
salt.
it's so good.
I guess that's bigger in Sweden, I think. It's bigger as well.
You actually, in Sweden, they have super salty monkey licorice. It's amazing.
And in Sweden, instead of just putting salt on their chips, they put salt and licorice on their chips.
No, they do not.
They do.
They
I've been
do
to,
put
I've been to
licorice in
Sweden. It's a
chocolate.
funny place.
It's weird. All right, there's a final question. So it is now 2-1. Owen, this is your chance to be tied. How many bridges are there in Amsterdam?
I think I've just got to go for the big number for the shock value. 1,281, I will say. What are you going to do?
So every answer's been B. This can't be B as well.
Yeah, but sometimes they do that and everyone else
It's the mind game right here. That's a lot of bridges. In Amsterdam only, I'm going for C.
You guys will end tied. It was A.
It was A.
It was A.
It said Amsterdam, so I was like, that's
a lot of bridges, you guys. That's us. Good, mostly because we have a lot of canals and stuff.
Makes sense.
And there's like multiple rings of the canals.
Yeah.
And each ring has like a very large number of bridges over it. And then there's also things around the canal making it a star. It's like a snowflake.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Canals.
I still felt like 1,200 was a lot, but...
I mean, it is. They're not very big. Like, they're small bridges.
Yeah.
Not the one like the Erasmus Bridge, like right here outside of Rotterdam. I thought there was going to be a picture there, but it's still a picture of the Netherlands. All right, so you guys ended up being tied. There's no tiebreaker, unfortunately. Unless I can think of one real fast.
I think the tiebreaker is that I'm from NA and he's from Europe, and he should know more about Europe.
He lives in the Netherlands.
He lives in the Netherlands.
That would be
that. That gives me a 0.1 in my opinion.
I would say so. I would say the school bag is one of the ones that you should have known.
I've seen someone have sneakers out their windows.
Maybe they were drawing them.
I mean, sneakers, I will tell you later what the sneakers mean, okay? That's an American thing I've learned anyway. Anyway, that was it for the DreamHack or DreamLeague overtime show, at least for this one. We're going to be back. We're going to be back again on Sunday for another overtime show where we are going to run down of everything that happened over the weekend. For now, though, this was it for this show. And of course, tomorrow we'll be live with the main bracket back on Twitch. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.